All right. Well, great. I'm excited this morning. I get to talk with my friend Chema here from Beer Savvy, and we did get a chance to connect at CBC. So this gets a chance for you and I to have a great conversation, learn a little bit more about the program, and more importantly, tell some of our members or friends in the craft industry about your program here. So good to get a chance to see you. And why don't we jump right into it? Can you tell us a little bit about the Cicerone Beer Savvy program and its value for breweries?
Thanks so much, Dan. I'm really excited to be here and for you to give me this opportunity. Hello, everybody, people watching us live or people watching us later today. And I'm really happy to be here and share a little bit about what I do. And so my name is Chema, as Dan said, and I'm an advanced Cicerone with the Cicerone Certification program. And I work in business development. And so my goal is to make you successful and to see you certified with our program and your staff. But what is the Cicerone Certification program? So we've been in business for about 15 years, and our goal is to have the best beer out there. And what do I mean by that? So I know a lot of you guys are brewers and you work really hard and to get your beers just right. But then after they leave the brewery, even to your own brew pub or through distribution to a supermarket or restaurant, sometimes that beer gets mishandled. So when that beer gets mishandled, it doesn't taste just quite like it did in the brewery. So what we try to do at Cicerone is to teach best practices and to make sure your beer is as good as the first day that it left the brewery. And we structured the program into four levels. And so we have the certified beer server, that it's a 60 question, 30-minute online exam. And that's like the starting point for everybody. I think that everybody that touches beer and professionally should take this at first level just to make sure they understand what the enemies of beer are and how to avoid damaging beer, and also knowing some vocabulary about style. If you're selling beer, if you're a server, or if you work in sales, it's very important that you're vocalizing and verbalizing the information about beer correctly. And so that's the first level, and then it goes through certified Cicerone, advanced Cicerone, and master Cicerone. And each level, it's a big step up in terms of knowledge and how demanding the exam is. We only have 24 master cicerones all the way at the top in 15 years, so you can see that it's definitely a challenging exam. But what I like is that there's everything for everyone. And if you do have, like, for instance, a brew pub and front of house staff, I like everybody to be at least level one and have like one person per shift to be certified Cicerone, the level two, so they have a little more knowledge and into both like how the equipment works if they need to troubleshoot it, and also if they have some styles that are not covered on the first level. That certified Cicerone will definitely be able to fill in the gaps for the rest of the team. So yeah, that's what we do at Cisco. I'm very happy to share it.
That's great. I really appreciate kind of giving everybody an overview. And you bring up something that is so true when I mean I go into different breweries and sometimes it's just interesting. You'll talk to someone and say, what do they recommend? Or what is that I see on the board? And they'll it varies in that response. Someone will be like, well, that's an IPA. And that just generic, response doesn't give you a lot versus someone that you can tell they talk about the aroma, the flavor, or what do you like, and it's interesting because I don't always think about where did they get that knowledge from? Where did they get the ability to have a conversation with someone and talk a little bit about flavors or make sure the pour is right? And that's not the head brewer, obviously, I'm talking to. it's someone that's maybe been there 3 months, or someone who's, just new to the industry. So you guys' programs are great for that. To your point, there's so many people who touch that could get value out of the program. Really, it's interesting to talk about, the way that they could get that knowledge. Let me ask you, my other question kind of gets to that is, do you have people who, are surprised about something in the program, or that they come back to you afterwards and say, I signed up for this but didn't realize I would get that? Any feedback for some people out there who might be thinking this might be fit for them, and something that they might be surprised about?
Yeah, I what I like about our program is that it encompasses a lot of different study areas. And so if a brewer takes our program, they need to learn about front of staff, like serve beer service. And if a bartender takes our program, they need to learn about beer pairing and also how beer is made. And so it gives different professionals different tools, and but I think it takes all of us out of our comfort zone, right? Because
Hmm.
if you're a brewer, sometimes you just stay on like the brewing track and learn more about brewing, which is great. We need you to do that, but our program helps you be a more well-rounded professional. And I think like the best feedback that I've gotten, and like that people have given me feedback on, is they tell me, well, I've run a brewery for 5 years, but I'm usually behind on training, and I have one or two people that are not trained. Why? Because basically, when you start an onboarding process, maybe you hire someone the next day, or maybe they were on a sick leave and they couldn't attend the training. And so Beer Savvy is an online training that it's on an individual basis. So if someone comes in today, you can just give them the training and they can do it individually. And it's kind of like a turnkey solution for you to get that like initial training and onboarding, and you know that everybody will know the basis of beer service and beer styles. So I think that's the greatest feedback, not a specific piece of knowledge, which I've gotten some of that too, but just hearing the peace of mind of someone that has control over training, that understands that everything, that everyone is being taken care of, and that's one way to make people feel valued. And I know rotation is a program; it's a problem in our industry right now, and giving training to people also makes them know you care about them and you care about them like growing professionally. And so I think that's great. Let me show you also the manager controls. And so right here, I don't know if you can see
I
them.
I can see that. That's good. I can see both. It's a good size, and I'm showing it on the screen.
Perfect. So yeah, what you see over here is the dashboard for managers. So if you have a team and you basically give them the codes and they activate the codes, and then you'll see those progress bars that it's how far they are in the training. And so as you can see, John Smith finished the training, and on the next column, it also shows you that they already like passed the exam and the date where they passed it. And people get 2 attempts on the exam. So you can see further down Alex that took 2 attempts to pass, and that's perfectly fine. We know it can be stressful to get into a testing environment after maybe years out of college or high school. And so that's why we do 2 attempts on the first level, and to make sure people are comfortable with the system and they know exactly what to expect. So I think like this is great because in a nutshell, it shows people where you are and what you need to do and to basically control your team and be up to date with training.
Well, and no, I appreciate you sharing a little bit of that, sharing a snapshot. It's interesting. I was thinking originally when I was talking about what is something you hear from people, thinking about some of the people who might be front of the brewery or some of the employees or new employees taking it too. But you also touched on those owners, right? And how they've got to organize that training. And it's something that usually is might fall off the top 10 list of things to do,
Right.
which kind of touches on my third point, my third question for you. I was wondering about ways of how beer saving makes it easy to operate, to utilize, to do things, and that was a great example. And versus not using beer savvy, and that was one great example. Does that something else that comes up when you're talking with those owners, or so when they're talking about someone who might be thinking about it, a way that you guys make it easy to do it?
Absolutely. So, and to take a step back, the way we work is that we know that we're busy in the industry, and both managers and employees on all levels have their jobs, and we need to get things done ideally in the correct way, but also with time in mind. So I find like that beer savvy is the fastest way I've found for people to become certified. And first of all, you don't need to develop a study program. And so that saves time on the manager side. And you don't have to do like in-person classes for your staff. And second of all, it takes around 6 to 8 hours to complete. And that depends if you're going back and looking at the slides. It depends on your previous knowledge, because you might breeze through some sections if you already have some knowledge, or if you're new to it, you might be taking some notes and going a little bit slower. So it's nice that it's self-paced, but at the
Yeah.
same time, even if you're new to it, you can complete it in 8 hours,
Okay.
which is usually something that it's very achievable for the entire staff. And after that, you need to take the 30-minute exam, and you're certified on the first level. And so I think that Beer Savvy, it's a great option. Now, Cicerone, we don't consider ourselves a school. We consider ourselves a certification program, just like our name says. And so what that means is that if someone wants to do it differently and study on their own pace with different resources, they can do it,
Hmm.
and we'll still sell the test, and they can get certified by us. So
Okay.
other popular methods are, for instance, reading a book. We recommend Tasting Beer by Randy Mosher. But believe me, there's a big difference between like giving an employee, here's a book you need to read,
Yeah.
and here's an online program that you can access from your phone and
Sure.
on your commute to work, or just like while you're eating lunch, or maybe they're doing it on like a company time, and you give them 1 hour at the end of the day to do it on a laptop. So I think that that makes a big difference, because the book, even though you get the same result, it has a different time and a different motivation. Even like the people, not everybody is ready to just grab a book and start reading. I'm one that I get sleepy when I read. I
Yeah.
rather do online things and have more of an interactive
Yep.
experience, because I get sleepy. And so I think that that shows a great experience. Let me show you a little bit of what I'm talking about. I have here
Yeah, that would help. That would help, I think, to
our
connect
program
that
open.
visual. Up,
So
I can see it on my end.
perfect. So you'll have basically the same percentage complete that the managers can see, and you can go back through the modules. Right here, I have like a glassware module, and you can click on each one of the glasswares, and oh, this is about glass size, and this is about the type of glass, and this is about and the first rule of beer service, that it's just use a glass and pour the beer. So because you're clicking around and it makes you click, you're interactive. It does have some text modules, so there's still going to be reading, but then like you can see here that after that we go and this is a video,
Sure.
right? This video we show how to pour beer and how to use the 3-sink cleaning method. And so it's great. And like this video is 3 minutes long. And that's kind of what you're going to see. And this is another 1 minute video. And then there we have some text. And you can see here that there's quizzes, right? So in the middle of the training, you're going to get tested on the key aspects of knowledge that you were going to get on the exam, and we're just setting you up to like memorize correctly and set you up for success in terms of like the exam, the certification exam that you're going to be testing. So I think it is a great option, and because it's just effective, and as I said, I enjoy anybody that takes our program. Some people are like, well, I don't even want to do the program, or I don't want to, I'm not ready financially to do an investment like that. And I'm like, hey, take a look at our syllabus and just look at what we teach, because it's going to improve what you do as a beer professional, hopefully.
Yeah.
So the syllabus is available for free. So in general, I love working for Cicerone because we like to make beer better. And that's something I can relate to, and I'm happy to do. And there's different levels. So Beer Savvy is definitely one of our main sellers and what people like to use. But we also offer custom solutions. And so if anybody is interested in like in-person classes, and we've done that, and we travel to your brewery and do that. But I find the reason I spend most of the time today talking about Beer Savvy is because I think that it fits most of the needs of what breweries and beer businesses need today.
Sure. Sure. No, Chema, this is great. I was really pleased that you had the time. I really thought that this was helpful for, as we start to get members or breweries or people in the industry are asking, what is it? What does it do? How can I take a look at it? So we're going to put this out there for people. I think they gave a great overview. And with this video is going to have a lot of different ways that they can get a hold of you to ask that question. I think you've put together a great program for Federation members, and I think you hit on one of the most important things, that this is not, don't be thinking about it just for that head brewer. There's so many people within that 12-person brewery who could benefit from this. So I think that's great, and it was good to see some of the different insights today, to see some of the training modules. So I want to thank you for the time. I'm glad we could connect.
Thank you too. It's a pleasure, and I'm always available. So feel free to reach back to me then anytime you want to do something like that, and to your members as well. And you're welcome to reach directly to me, and I'll be happy to go through the different options we have and how to get you certified and your team up to speed.
Absolutely. Sounds good to you again. Thanks again. We'll be talking soon. We'll get that information out there.
Bye. Thanks so much. See you.